Within this context, as I've said a few times, I think justification simply means having a good reason. Having a good reason to think something is true. What counts as a good reason to think something is true is a matter of debate. First of all, whatever answer you give to that question, whether it's, well, if I have a direct sensory experience of something, then I have a good reason to believe what I'm perceiving. Or if I can think logically about something, then I have a good reason. Or if somebody who is a reputable source of information tells me something, then I know it. I know it's true. Whatever answer we give to that question is going to beg another question. Any answer that we give to the question of what counts as justification itself requires justification, which kind of sounds like a little bit of question begging. How do I justify whatever I think justifies my belief in some proposition or another? What we're getting at here is that there might be something fundamentally problematic with this notion of justification itself. Maybe there is no such thing. Maybe there can never be justification as such. So someone like Descartes might come and say, well, I hear what you're saying. I have a solution. I understand that if we keep justifying our justifications with justification and so on, we're going to have an infinite regress problem. Here's how we can fix that. Okay, so Descartes would say, there are some beliefs, call them basic beliefs, which do not require justification. What he's saying is some beliefs are just so basic, so foundational, self-evident perhaps, that we do not need to justify them. Like, do I really need to justify my belief that I exist? I mean, the fact that I'm even able to think about existing kind of presupposes that I do, in fact, exist. If I can't even justify my own existence, I'm not sure how I'm going to get much else done, during the day. So maybe we need to start somewhere. Maybe the buck needs to stop someplace. And why not say it stops with certain beliefs upon which other beliefs can be built? If that sounds sensible to you, then you might want to look into this particular approach within epistemology, which is called foundationalism. Foundationalism gives us a nice stable bedrock upon which we can base other beliefs. And the reason this bedrock is so stable is precisely because it's made of beliefs which do not require justification. Now, there's a few problems with this. First, does it really solve that infinite regress problem? Well, some would say no. Some would point out that basically what we're doing here is we're saying, I believe there are basic beliefs. There are basic beliefs that do not require justification. And someone might say, well, how do you justify that belief? And I might retort that, well, the belief that there are basic beliefs is itself a basic belief. And if you say that, you're going to have a really hard time getting around accusations of circular thinking. Second, even if there are basic beliefs, there's this question of, well, which ones are the basic ones? Which ones are secondary or tertiary and so on? Like, suppose I told you that belief in God is foundational. Belief in God is a basic belief. Therefore, if you're an atheist, then right off the bat, I can simply dismiss your view because you're rejecting a basic belief. But that doesn't really sound fair. That's not really in the spirit of good, healthy philosophical discourse. And quite frankly, the atheist could basically say the same thing about his or her belief. He or she could say the same thing and say, like, well, no, actually, atheism is the basic belief, so I can dismiss your view. And on what basis could either of us really get over the other one? How could either of us really argue our point? Foundationalism was an early attempt, notably articulated by Descartes, as a way of getting around that skepticist argument that justifying beliefs is impossible. It does a good job of that, but at a pretty high cost, specifically at a cost to the resiliency of our notion of justification. It kind of makes it a little weaker, a little too weak. Now, with that said, there have been attempts since Descartes' time to kind of modify foundationalism, to try and make it a little bit more palatable. These more modified versions of foundationalism are still pretty popular. And I'll post some links in the description to some pages that can point you in the right direction there. Cartesian foundationalism, not so much, kind of hasn't survived. But these other modified versions are something that are, epistemologists are still talking about and critics would still have to contend with.